Why doesn't she just leave him already? We all have that friend, family member, colleague, loved one who is dating a jerk. And you constantly ask yourself, rolling your eyes, why doesn't she just leave him? He humiliates her in public. He controls her life. She shares with you that he berates her all the time and she's always crying at home. Maybe he shows up at the office unexpected or calls 20 times a day. And y'all wonder, why doesn't she just leave? It is National Rebuild Your Life Month, and I thought I would share with you the reasons why she doesn't leave, which tie in very nicely to rebuilding your life. You see, victims of domestic violence don't think that it's going to be possible. They think that they're going to forever struggle because of a few reasons. Now, my name is Dr. Jennifer Gardella. I am a survivor of sadistic domestic violence at the hands of a vicious abuser. And I, in my passion project, want to educate and empower victims, but also their support teams to know what to do and how to help. So, why don't victims leave? Well, number one, where are they going to go? If you live in a really nice neighborhood and let's just say her name is on the mortgage and she doesn't have a high paying job, she's not going to qualify. She's not going to have the credit capacity to take on a rental. Shelters are often stuffed to the gills and only have space for those who are physically beaten, usually. And so, where is she going to go? When I was escaping domestic violence, this was my big question. Where was I going to find a place to live? And then, how is she going to afford it? Usually, as in my case, I had spent a tremendous amount of money trying to make him happy, showing him I was all into the relationship and not taking advantage of him. I also had spent so much time being available because that's what he's told me that he wanted, that I wasn't building my business the correct way. And so my business wasn't bringing in the revenue that I needed. So she may have a lower paying job. How is she going to pay for it to be on her own? He probably controls the majority of the money and maybe only gives her an allowance. So that's a problem. She also doesn't want to have the conversations with him that are going to be required for her to leave. You just don't disappear in the middle of the night usually, and then he doesn't bother you again. There's going to have to be conversations going forward. Those I was scared to death of. And then there's her embarrassment. She's horrified by what's going on. For me, it was going to be a second divorce. I was terrified that people would think, what was wrong with her? Why couldn't she make this marriage work? And he had also berated me to the point of believing that I was a bad wife, that I couldn't make him happy. She also maybe comes from a culture like I did, where this kind of thing didn't happen. Women either were strong or subservient. In my case, everyone was in 50-year marriages in my family, all of my elders. And in my peer group, everybody was hitting the 20-year mark in their marriages. And here I was getting divorced again. I was mortified. Now, also remember, and I didn't have this, but she's going to have to at some point face the fact quickly, she probably already has in her mind, that her children are going, if they're minors, are going to have to spend time with the abuser now alone. If she's already in the story with them, if she's in the house, she can kind of protect them a little bit, and that can be advantageous to her. And that goes the same with pets. So things to think about. They're called the barriers to leaving or the barriers to escaping domestic violence. And then we need to remember that or for the first time, you may need to hear that she's probably in an unhealthy love relationship with her abuser. What does this mean? Well, it's called a trauma bond. When you're trauma bonded to someone, you believe that all of the problems that they claim are your fault are actually your fault. You don't see way to reason and logic. He started me off with the highs of the relationship. I was perfect for him. He was perfect for me. Romantic getaways filled with nothing but, oh my gosh, we have found each other. We are so lucky. And then he slowly started to drip in abuse. Every once in a while, he would get back to one of these highs. They were never quite as high as they were originally, but I was living on those scraps of love, trying to make him happy. always going, though, back down to what I call his playground of abuse. What I realized as I was escaping is that the cycle of abuse was actually his MO. This is where he wanted me. And he had gotten me addicted to the fact that I could make him happy, those high moments. I can't tell you how great it was when he would shine a light on me. But I also can't tell you how scary it was when we were in the lowest moments of the relationship, where he was screaming and berating me for everything that I had done wrong, where I was sobbing on the floor, trying to apologize, not realizing even or knowing what I was even apologizing for. It was psychotic. It was abuse. It was chaos. That's what he wanted. Breaking that trauma bond, though, well, broke my heart. And so when you're helping someone escape and then rebuild her life, again, it's National Rebuild Your Life Month, you're going to have to realize how hard that is going to be for her. She is all in. I was all in on this relationship. And so she is going to need help rebuilding that financial piece, finding a place to live, having those tough conversations with him and the support she's going to need afterwards, and understanding that her culture and any embarrassment that she feels is really a product of the abuse, and she needs to break ties with it. And then on the other end, you're going to have to help her through breaking that trauma bond. It is going to be so painful. So those are the reasons why she does not leave abuse. She does not leave a narcissist. She does not leave domestic violence. Thank you for listening.